Automated my useless boss out of her job, by user Lung Bong. This happened a few years ago. I was a data and reporting analyst and did all the ad hoc reports for the company. My boss, we'll call her Carrie, was a useless. She was one of these people that was always late, left early, and took days off at short notice. The only thing of value she did was all the regular reports, sales, revenue, etc. We suspected she got away with it because she was having an affair with her boss, we'll call him Stuart. Our CEO was a fairly decent bloke. He'd look for ways to cut costs and would pay regular bonuses for the best cost-saving initiatives. Carrie was very keen to submit ideas and encouraged us all to automate our tasks so she could try and take the credit for the savings. On one of her skive days, which coincidentally Stuart was sick as well, the CEO was desperate for the sales report my boss does. I said I'd give it a look and see if I could get it done. Normally she'd spend 2 to 3 days doing it each week, but the CEO wanted it that afternoon. A quick inspection of the data showed it would quite easily be automated, so I knocked up the necessary script and got it over to the CEO, who was super impressed that not only had I got it done in a couple of hours but also that it could be updated whenever he needed it. He asked if I could also look at the revenue, churn, and a couple of other reports. Over that afternoon I automated everything my boss did. Both Carrie and Stuart were back in the next day but were immediately summoned to the CEO's office before being suspended and sent home. Turns out the CEO knew they were having an affair, and all the times they were sick or late or had to leave early was so they could sneak off and have sex. He'd not done anything about it because how important these reports were. Now they were automated, he was able to get them suspended and later fired for gross misconduct for all the time they'd taken off. I also got a nice bonus out of it. TLDR, my useless boss encouraged us to automate our work, so I automated all her tasks and the CEO fired her for. Check my employees' clockings at work? No problem. No problem at all, by user Dan Jaceb. This happened a little while ago, but I still think about it sometimes. I was a supervisor of a small team, who were great at what they did, and one payday had 3 worried staff members thinking payroll had cocked up and given them too much money. They hadn't. One of my guys came in 5 minutes late and got caught by one of the other managers, who told my boss, and it got round to me. I want you to check their clock-ins and clock-outs and let me know so we can dock them anytime they weren't in on time. Now, I don't care, they were a great employee, got a ton of work done and always stayed late if they needed to finish things off. Also, I don't want to even think about if that was legal or not. It didn't sit right with me. 2 things weren't in his favor right now: 1, he was being a tool, and 2, I'd already got another job lined up which he didn't know about. So I didn't care. What next? I did as I was told and I checked. Couple of minutes here or there, nothing major. I then checked all of the extra time they worked since they'd started and added it all up. Made sure to take out anything they'd already claimed as overtime. Logged it in the system and approved and sent it over to finance myself. Then I checked my other guys' times as well and did the same thing. Turns out, my guys were damn helpful, and helped out other areas when they could. The overtime went over certain time limits and tipped over from 1.5 times pay to 2 times pay. It added up to a lot. I delayed it a couple of days to make sure it all went through and double-checked with finance to make sure all was good. Then I called a meeting with my boss to let him know everything and hand him a letter. He was not pleased. Worth it. You can give $1 off, if it helps you make a sale, by user Life According Tome 83. Back in the early 2000s I was a college student working at Blockbuster. At that time, it cost $3.70 to rent a movie, sometimes for just 2 nights, and the late fees were insane, as most who were adults at that time remember. We had this barcode on the side of the register we could scan to give $1 off a movie rental, but only when it helped us make an additional sale. The idea was to help push the overpriced candy and give $1 off a movie rental. So Blockbuster started a fundraiser for St. Jude's, no incentive at all for employees to get donations, but of course as it was for a good cause I wanted to ask everyone. I got annoyed because people would spend a ton of money on late fees and more movie rentals and crap they didn't need, but I asked everyone on a Saturday night in the busiest Blockbuster in the entire state, to donate, and got 2 people, out of several hundred, to donate $1. The next day, I realized I had to scan a piece of paper so the $1 donation would ring up, hence the donation was technically an additional sale, so I started a new campaign of my own. Anyone who agreed to donate $1 to charity got $1 off their movie rental. For the next 3 weeks until the charity partnership was over, with the customer's permission, I took $1 off the movie rental each time and scanned the barcode for the $1 additional sale that went right to charity. The customers were happy they could pay the same price and help a good cause, and I got to help collect a few $1,000s for that cause, putting Blockbuster's own upselling methods to work against them. Edited to add, this was the early 2000s when you weren't asked about donating at every store. I was 18 years old and just frustrated by the lack of donating because I watched so much money wasted on stupid late fees that could be taken off so easily for anyone but you had to complain. I couldn't fathom why anyone wouldn't want to help a kid for $1. I'm sorry some people see this as thievery and / or don't understand my frustration. Blockbuster ripped people off systematically, and this was my small way as a broke college kid trying to even the scales a bit. HOA won't let us fly our modest pride flag. Update, by usermemon17. I thought I would extend a quick update to y'all, a year after this small story blew up. Here's the link from last year's post. We received a ton of support, with the side of online hate mail, but the positives really outshone the negatives. We haven't gotten any negative feedback from the HOA, I'm still a director and sit on the board, and the neighbors who reached out were all supportive and very kind. No new news have come in that would prevent us from making this our yearly tradition, and we're already setting up for this June. This is how the house is looking now. We got some national and international attention, which we appreciated, in the name of representation, a few very nice media articles, some goodies, and I even turned the experience into some fun artwork with the help of an amazing local artist. Thank you all for your support, comments, and awards, that still trickle in every week or so. Never expected this would go viral. Be smart out there, fellow malicious compliers. This is America, by user ancient_educator_76. My amazing wife bought a pogo pass for the family. This allows our family of 5, sometimes 7, to go to many events on the cheap. Last night we saw the Rattlers play against the IFL's newest team, the Frisco Fighters. Great game. One that a certain couple didn't get to see, thanks to some, presumably, malicious compliance on behalf of the ticket scanner. We were waiting in line, waiting for our tickets to scan, noticed a couple in front of us getting very fidgety with their middle school twins, yelling at them to pull up the tickets on their phone. They made it a race, as if everything was a competition to these girls. Twin 2 wins, lost that bet with my wife, just in time to get scanned. All that, and the man scanning didn't take his magic wand and scan their phone, just looked and nodded them through, about ready to move on to us. But alas, it was not to be. Mom starts tripping balls, telling the young ticket scanner, "But you didn't scan us." YTS replies, "Ma'am, you're good to go." He then turns back to us to scan our tickets that we're, also, readied by our kid, saying as he makes eye contact with us, "Hey man, some people don't get it, if I say you're good to go you are, got no problem with me, you're problem free." He said it so rhythmically that nothing I could write could do it justice, just how melodically he almost sang this utterance. Like a catchphrase. All of a sudden the lady shouts while whispering, probably because security is right there, "This is America. For all of our safety I demand you scan each of our tickets." Enter MC by the young ticket scanner, YTS, as he tells us, with his eyes more than anything, "Watch this." He takes the scanner, asks the crazy "This is America lady, are you sure?" "Positive," you know that she was about to ramble on when the tickets suddenly made a weird noise, the noise of rejection. YTS says in an overly emphatic sad voice, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but this ticket is for our next home game, see the date." Crazy lady replies, "You've gotta be kidding me." And she turned to her disappointed looking family and disappeared into a crowd of people I could care less about. YTS turns to me and says, to my wife most likely, and kind of to his co-workers and the general public, "I saw that date, saw that different helmet color, I tried to help them out, man, no one wants to listen. No one cooperating." Smiling all the way, shrugs in unison. Nice to see MC secondhand.